A lot of goals.
Dumped in by Quebec, and Kerbers has it for the Canadians. Kerbers can't clear it out of there. Ashton into forecheck, into Payma. Centered. Gillis couldn't get it, and Nyland comes back for Montreal. Chris Nyland flipping it in. Gainey charges in after it. Brad Maxwell is there. And as he cleared it, he clears it up into the crowd.
Well, an update from Winnipeg, where the Edmonton Oilers have tied it up against the Winnipeg Jets. Krushelnyski scoring early in the second period to go with Paul Coffey's goal. Winnipeg has goals from McLean and Lundholm. Well, the fans starting to go here now. We had a wave just a moment ago. That big goal again gets them going. The papers around here talking about their sixth man. I don't know what they consider the goaltender if he's not the sixth guy out there, but if not the sixth man, they call the crowd the seventh man, and it is a factor.
The young goaltender Gosselin ready for a face-off, which will be off to his right. 17:27 left in the third period. Quebec 4, Montreal 4. Carbonneau, Naslund, and Mark Hunter for Montreal. The Canadians, Ludwig at the point trying to flip it in. Brad Maxwell knocks that down and carries out of his own zone. Lead pass to Anton Stastny. He's out on the ice with Peter Stastny and Alain Cote. Here's Maxwell getting it into the corner. Carbonneau knocking him down. Now Quebec. Cote at the point, shooting one. Peter Stastny rebound. Big save, Penny on Stastny's backhand. Here's Anton Stastny to Maxwell. Firing it behind the goal. Over onto the other side goes Cote. Trying to clear it, Carbonneau. Lost it to Peter Stastny, trying to stuff it in, and Penny held it against the post with his skate.
Well, another big save by Penny, and again, it was Penny just in position to make the save. Let the puck hit you, as Jacques Plante said. Well, there he is. He's down in that butterfly. They criticize him for that, but he's quickly back up. Now, here comes the backhand, and gave him a little bit of a hole to shoot at, but took it away very quickly and made the save. Here comes again as you take a look at Cote's drive from the blue line, and the crowd. And again, Penny, that one I think hit somebody in front of Penny, but again he was there. And there's the backhand.
I think the original shot hit Ludwig, but he had to make a good save on Peter Stastny on the rebound, and he is being patched up, number 26, Peter Stastny of the Nordiques.
Well, you hang around the crease, you got a crack in the mouth once in a while, huh?
You pay the price. 16:48 left in regulation time. Montreal 4, Quebec 4. The Nordiques sending out Hunter with Kumpel and Goulet. Now they have a problem with the ice near the Montreal goal crease, and that's the reason for the delay.
Been a lot of traffic in front of that net in the early going in this period. The Nordiques have had a total of 6 shots on Penny so far. The Canadians are still looking for their first shot of the period.
Here's Carbonneau against Hunter. And the Canadians win the draw, and Robinson starts out for Montreal to Carbonneau. Shoots one. Gosselin the save. Moeller cleared the rebound. Held in by Chelios. His shot wide by 3 or 4 feet. Nyland to Carbonneau. Moeller ties him up. Gainey and Dale Hunter fight for it. Puck slides near the goal crease. Bell comes up with it for Quebec. Now to Goulet. Dumping it in. Racing back. Robinson missed it, but Gainey gets to it. And now it's icing, and now Hunter and Carbonneau almost get into it. And here we go again.
Well, what happened there was Hunter took a shot at Chelios as he was going into the net, and what happened was he upended him. He wound up in the net. That got somebody upset. And Nyland is the one that's wrestling around on the ice right now. Chelios is not a fighter, although he got into one with Casper in the Boston series. So those two guys will go.
From Quebec City, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CTV.
Welcome to the biggest sale in Dodge truck history. Special discounts of $400 on light-duty pickups and Ram Chargers right across Canada, plus Prospector package discounts for total savings of up to $1,781. And that's over and above the Dodge 580, Canada's best truck warranty. Why do we keep reaching higher and higher in our best year yet? Because you're the one who made it best. Thank you. Thank you, Canada.
Well, they just wiped a whole bunch of blood off Dale Hunter's face. He paid the price for all of this. Now, there's the check, which was a clean one. And now in comes Carbonneau. Took a shot there. Now in comes Robinson, who is just trying to break it up by the looks of it. And there's Nyland, who guaranteed was going to be in the middle of that. Somewhere along the line, Dale Hunter was cut.
Nyland, the Canadians in the penalty box.
Chelios is going in, so we're going to get an extra penalty called here at least. I don't know why. Well, Chelios got back into the fray. And perhaps that's the extra one. Dale Hunter at the other box. I think nothing's on the board yet, so we're just kind of waiting for Myers and his friends to finish sorting it all out.
I think my calculation is we're up to about 31 penalties in the game so far.
Not an awful lot of fighting, which is the norm when these two teams get together. But Chelios is going to get an extra 2 minutes. That's on the board now. Probably for roughing. Not a good penalty at this stage. The Canadians have been back on their heels. They have only one shot in the period. So just 6 for the Nordiques.
Bob Myers has explained the situation to the captains Gainey and Marois. Well, if you're enjoying the action here in Quebec City this evening, there'll be more of the same Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern Time here on CTV. Hope you're with us for Game 4 in this series between the Nordiques and the Canadians. That's this Thursday, 7:30 Eastern Time.
Just getting the announcement here.
The only penalty still on the board is the one to Chelios. And we'll straighten it out once we get the official announcements of the penalties, but there's action elsewhere tonight too.
In Winnipeg, where the Jets have gone in front of Edmonton in the game out there once again. Here it comes. Watch for number 34, Ron Wilson. His heel score. The Jets in the white there. Puck is cleared behind the net. And that's out in front. Wilson floating around in the slot. Nice play. And the Jets have gone in front 3-2 on the Edmonton Oilers. That game in the second period out at the arena in Winnipeg. And here in the third period at the 3:46 mark, we're in a 4-4 tie. Couple is going to sit. We've got nobody in the penalty box right now for Quebec, and I think that's because Hunter was cut. And you've got it all sorted out.
Chelios gets a minor for slashing. Nyland gets a minor and a major, and so does Dale Hunter. So the only penalty on the clock, the one to Chelios for slashing, and it will give the Nordiques a manpower advantage. The Canadians have only 3 men on the ice right now as Bob Gainey is questioning Bob Myers, the referee, along with Larry Robinson.
There you see Peter Stastny, you saw him being doctored up at the bench there. You can see the fat lip. Beginning to see a lot of shields now, Dan. There's a Carbonneau wearing one. We have had some facial injuries. Quite a few of them are on the Canadians. They lost Mel earlier this year, an eye injury. Finally forced him into retirement. Mondew, Curvers in the exhibition season was out a month because of a puck deflected up in a game right here in the Colisée in the exhibition season.
Here we go to the Quebec power play with the score tied 4-4. This is Peter Stastny leaving it for Sauvé. Carbonneau up to check him. It comes to Marois. Now to Goulet, who circles back. Michel Goulet has the hat trick. Couldn't penetrate the Montreal blue line this time, and the Canadians clear it down the ice. Marois back for Quebec. A minute 30 left in Chelios' penalty. Marois beating Peter Stastny. Robinson trying to tie him up, does. Stastny drops to Marois. Shoots from the point, well wide of the target. Anton Stastny. Into Goulet, behind the net to Peter Stastny. Back to Sauvé. To Anton, to Peter. To Sauvé. Shoots, big save, Penny. Sauvé again. Check, and Gainey has a breakaway for Montreal. Big save by Gosselin on Bob Gainey's breakaway. And Peter Stastny has it for Quebec. Leaving it for Maxwell. Maxwell weaving his way in. Into Anton Stastny. Back to Bell. He scores! The rookie Bruce Bell.
Well, he gets one chance at one end of the ice. How often does it happen? And he leaned into it. Bruce Bell has not played an awful lot, the rookie. But he pinched in from the point and got a good low shot away on Steve Penny. And the youngster has given the Nordiques a 5-4 lead. They have not led in this hockey game since back in the first period.
A big save by Gosselin, and right back come the Nordiques, and the rookie Bell gives them the lead.
Well, Bob Gainey had the break. Bob Gainey will tell you, and the first one to tell you, if you're depending on Bob Gainey to score a goal for you, you got a lot of trouble. Well, Bob Gainey went in. He is not a goal scorer. And he just tried to put it low. Good reaction there. Just the key to the save was just a reaction as Gosselin stayed back.
Back to the live action as the Canadians are at full strength. That was another power play goal by Quebec. Here's Walter clearing one in. Knocked down by Price. Now Walter again shoots it in. Maxwell back for Quebec. Brad Maxwell to Price. Flipping one into the Montreal zone. Gillis and Ludwig in after it. They tumble down, and now Carboneau feeds McPhee. Back to Chelios to McPhee again. McPhee's long shot. Gosselin the save. Maxwell cleared it to Ashton. And here is Price to Will Paymoff. Paymoff shoots from a bad angle in. Penny got a piece of that. Here's Paul Gillis for Quebec, centered. Just tipped away by Kerbers, and the Canadians come back. This is McPhee. Into Kerbers. Back to McPhee. His shot blocked. Rebound. Oh, and Gosselin robs Mondeau. The Canadians again. McPhee wide of the target. But what a save Gosselin made on Mondeau. Here's Mondeau again. To McPhee. He scores! This game is tied again.
Can you believe it? What a tremendous shift that line had, and they just kept getting the puck back, and that was the key. Mondeau has got that great ability in close quarters, and he handled the puck well. Then McPhee got loose and just circled around. He was behind the defense and alone. But it was the checking and forechecking of this line. But look at the move by Mondeau, and then he just flipped it back, and that's the reason why all of a sudden the puck just changed direction, and McPhee found himself alone in front of Gosselin.
McPhee's second goal of the playoffs, the native of Sydney, Nova Scotia, has just tied this game at 6:31 here in the third period. Well,
they put a show on, don't they?
They really do. Here's Boisvert dropping it back to his own line, and Green for Montreal. Checked by Cote. Here's Anton Stastny centering. Green is there to clear it, and Boisvert feeds to center to Gainey. Gainey trying to go around Marois, ridden out. Puck cleared, comes to Anton Stastny. He clears it to the Montreal line, and Green chases back for the Canadians. loses it to Cote, and Penny very sharp as he caught that one in midair. From Quebec City, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CTV.
Go for the flavor, go for Okie Pale. Savor the flavor, go for Okie Pale. Go for the flavor, go for Okie Pale.
Go for the full flavor of Okie Pale.
That scoring play for Montreal. McPhee is second to the playoffs. Mondeau and Tremblay the assists. 6:31 the time. It ties the game at 5. Here's a face-off between Peter Stastny and Ryan Walter. Stastny wins the draw. Bowler at the point. Big save, Penny. And now Hunter for Montreal tried to break away. He's checked. Cote and Hunter fight for it. Mark Hunter finally able to poke it in, and Rochefort shooting it back out to Cote to Peter Stastny. Peter Stastny trying to maneuver through, still has the puck, dropping it, but Moeller unable to hold it in at the point. Over to Rochefort. He fires it in. That's Ludwig bumping on the boards and knocking Anton Stastny down. And Ludwig clears to Naslund. Now to Mark Hunter, back again to Ludwig. Shot to center, Sauvé intercepts. And now Ludwig and Anton Stastny got into a slashing match, and they'll go to the penalty box.
Well, back in Long Island at Uniondale, New York, when last we left the game, it was 4-2 Philadelphia. But the Islanders come back, and this is John Tonelli. We've seen this little act before as he fights his way past Crossman and right into the crease and into the net. And it's 4-3 now. Flyers are still leading. That one in the second period, late in the second period now.
Here we're in the third at Quebec City, 12:10 remaining. Montreal 5, Quebec 5. Ron, I think this game has had everything that we expected, plus a little extra. Ludwig gets a high sticking penalty. Anton Stastny a roughing penalty. 7:50 the time. Each team a man short. Sauvé stole the puck, but Chelios was able to recover and get it back. Now Robinson over to McPhee, who scored that last Montreal goal. McPhee, a rink-wide pass. Chelios racing up. He has to circle back and drop it to Robinson. Now to Chelios again. Chris Chelios moving in. Lets the shot go wide to the net. Here's McPhee. Score! And McPhee with 2 in a row gives Montreal the lead.
Well, the speed of Chris Chelios set this one up. He presented a 4-on-2 as he came over the line, and then everybody tried to scramble back, and all he did was shoot it off the rear end of Gosselin into the net. I don't know whether McPhee will tell us after the game that he planned it that way.
I really think he did. He took a look. It's the only thing he could do, and he seemed to try and bank it in off the Quebec goaltender, and he did.
I wonder what his billiards is like. Well, now this is just last shot may win this one, Dan. We've got McPhee with his 3rd goal of the playoffs, 2nd in a row here.
And it is 6-5 for Montreal. Bell going back for Quebec. Each team still a man short. Bell beating one on the left wing side to Gillis. His shot hit Green. Aston behind the goal for Quebec. Ridden out by Kerbers. Boisvert comes back to help out, giving it to Kerbers. He feeds it to Smith. Number 15, Bobby Smith. Now to Green. Up to Kerbers. Over to Boisvert. Into Kerbers. That was just tipped at the defense by Moeller. Enough to break it up. Here's Smith centering. Green had moved up but couldn't get his stick on the pass. And it goes all the way to the Montreal end of the rink. Penny giving it to Green. Round to Kerbers. Now, way back in the other end, Penalty coming up against Bobby Smith of Montreal, or it's against Quebec, I guess. And now as Quebec get possession, I think it's going to be a slashing call against Gosselin from Quebec City. The Stanley Cup playoffs on CTV.
Two of the things I enjoy in life are good music and good wine. Bel Canto, a lovely dry and mellow red wine. Chant de la Bohème, a superb wine made from the finest Italian grapes. Excellence is a tradition to be shared. You see, I'm Giovanni Miucci, president of Corelli Wines, and I'm so proud of this tradition.
Well, little Mario Gosselin apparently got upset at Bobby Smith, took a slash at him way behind the play. It comes at 9:38. Now the Canadians will go on a power play, and they'll have to put somebody in the penalty box down there to serve it, which they have done.
Meanwhile, Ron, that last Montreal scoring play, Mike McPhee is second of the game, is third of the playoffs. Deblois and Chelios the assists. 8:32 the time, the goal that gives Montreal the lead again at 6-5.
Anton Stastny's going to serve the penalty. We've still got Hunter in the penalty box for Quebec, and Ludwig still in there for the Canadians with 17 seconds or 12 seconds remaining in their penalty.
What happened on the play when Gosselin got the penalty? Smith was involved in behind the Quebec goal with another of the Nordiques, and as Smith came back up the ice, Gosselin just gave him a little slash from behind, and Bob Myers saw it, and he's getting the 2-minute minor, which the Nordiques will have to now try and kill out.
Well, Ludwig's going to come out of the penalty box. The interesting thing about the location of the penalty box here is for the team that is the visiting team here, you've got to come all the way across the ice to be replaced. This is a complaint that they have in this building and also in the Forum. A lot of arenas now, you have the two benches side by side on one side and the penalty box is across the other side. So there is a distinct home ice advantage here, because coming out of the box, Hunter, of course, will probably join in the penalty killing, but in the case of Ludwig, he will not go on the power play. Ludwig's not an offensive player. He'll have to come all the way across the ice and be replaced.
So two players in the penalty box with just seconds to serve in their penalty. Ludwig and Anton Stastny. They each have 12 seconds left. And now the penalty to Gosselin. And they have someone in the penalty box to serve that penalty right now.
I think I said Anton Stastny was serving the penalty. It is Hunter who's serving the penalty. So Anton will probably head for the bench too. And I don't know why the discussion now. It seems pretty straightforward. And there's Gosselin, who's, they said, a very cool customer for a young fellow.
Whatever the discussion was about, Bob Myers skates away. He's ended it.
The Edmonton Oilers have gone in front of Winnipeg now, scoring 2 goals in a row. Napier has now made it 4-3 for the Oilers. As he cuts in front, goes to the backhand. Here it is. There's the shot into an open net, as it turned out, in the deep slot. Well, now 4-3 Oilers, and Jean-Francois Sauvé is now going to serve the penalty. They have to take somebody who was on the ice at the time, and that's sometimes... Oh, look at this. Well, the fiery Michel Bergeron. Never had a losing season. He had some great years coaching junior hockey in Trois-Rivières in Quebec before joining the Nordiques as an assistant coach, and in a couple of weeks he became the head coach of the team.
Bergeron is upset about whatever the confrontation or argument it is about. Well, he's not upset now, but he was earlier. I think the argument was, Ron, as you pointed out, as to what player was on the ice that would serve the penalty.
All right, here we go.
4 against 3 for Montreal. And here is a shot right on by Naslund, and Gosselin save as Naslund was able to walk right in there.
Well, if the prevailing wisdom is true, he shot to the wrong side, shoot to the stick side. Gosselin. Not to his glove side, but I'm not so sure about that prevailing wisdom. Anyway, he made a good save on a shot that could have handcuffed him.
Montreal tonight 2 for 5 on the power play. They've scored 2 power play goals. The Nordiques have scored 3. It's 6-5 for Montreal. From the face-off, Gosselin able to clear it. Chelios going back for the Canadians. Now Anton Stastny and Ludwig are back on. The only man in the penalty box is Sauvé, who is serving Gosselin's minor. So Quebec a man short. Here's Walter. Into Tremblay. Now to Walter. Marois breaks it up. Cleared it off the boards by Robinson. And the Canadians have to go back. Robinson and Chelios are the point men. Walter, Naslund, and Tremblay up front. Penalty killers are Cote and Gillis for Quebec. Marois and Rochefort on defense. Here's Robinson. To Chelios. Couldn't clear it down the ice, and Cote has it for the Nordiques. One-on-one against Robinson. A shot that fooled Penny, but hit the side of the net. Here's Larry Robinson. 55 seconds left in the Quebec penalty. Chelios. Back to Robinson. Now to Smith. This pass intercepted, and Kumpel right back for Quebec. Long, high shot. And that's gloved by Penny. Here's Smith. Clearing it to Robinson. Montreal having difficulty getting on track on this power play. The Nordiques break it up again. Moeller cleared it, but Robinson knocked it down to Smith. Now into Tremblay. Drops to Deblois. Lucien Deblois. Gosselin used his stick to good advantage to knock it away. Here's Bobby Smith. To the point. Gosselin the save. Tremblay's rebound shot. Just wide. First he stopped Green, and then Tremblay shot it wide. Just 5 seconds left in the penalty to Quebec. And now the penalized player is back on. Here's Smith for Montreal. Peter Stastny knocking it down. Now Marois. Intercepted to Anton Stastny. Shot right on. Pad save. Goulet the rebound. Drops it back. That shot off the shoulder of Penny as Anton Stastny let it go. Marois to Peter Stastny. He lets it go to Goulet. Goulet tried to drop it back. Deblois intercepts and cleared it to center. Rochefort back to get it. Now Green. Clearing one to Boisvert. Into Carbonneau. Rochefort skates him off. Marois. Clearing to Goulet. To Anton Stastny. Ludwig tied him up. Anton Stastny to Peter. Shot wide by about a foot. Here's Bell at the point. His shot blocked, and Boisvert feeds Genie. One-on-one against Moeller. Genie stops, waits for help, gets it, gives it to Carbonneau. Peter Stastny breaking it up, and here's Bell for Quebec. Long shot wide to the Montreal goal. Penny clearing it, and Genie has it for Montreal. It's Tama in for checking. Ties up Ludwig. Tama does a good job. Comes up with the puck. Back to Moeller. Got Penny to save. Rebound. Ashton couldn't get a stick on it. Tremblay clearing. Held in by Quebec. But now Genie will carry out. Genie can't get around Moeller. And here's Bell for Quebec. 6:43 left in regulation time. Here are the Canadians with Tremblay flipping it in. Moeller is there to give it to Bell for Quebec. He pokes it to Ashton. Now Naslund shooting it off the boards, and Moeller has it for Quebec. Moeller with a lead pass to Ashton will go the length of the ice. Green back to touch it. Icing call. From Quebec City, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CTV.
If you're having trouble cutting your lawn, you should know about Honda's side discharge mower. It's easy to start, it's lightweight, so it's easy to use, and it's built so well it may be the last lawnmower you ever buy. The Honda side discharge mower, with a bag or without. Buy one and leave your troubles behind.
Well, while we were away, that players were coming out of the penalty box, and we had Hunter involved in a little set-to right out in front of the penalty box. I don't know whether penalties are going to come from all of this. I would think so. Gillis was in there as well. But the players were coming out after serving their penalties. Well, Nyland now is
I think they've been thrown
out
of the game. They had their sticks up and took a swing at each other. Gillis and Nyland. And I think I caught the signal of Myers saying, "You fellas are gone."
Well, that could mean, or we'll have to wait the announcement, it could mean that they're getting more than 7 minutes in penalties, or it could mean game. We don't know. We've had a couple of match penalties already in this game. Way back when we lost both Jimmy Mann and Rooney.
While they straighten out the penalties, we'll tell you that the Canadians lead 6-5, and from Quebec City, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CTV.
There's really something good about the way that we feel, the way we see the world that we live in. We like to give life a try, enjoy the sun and the sky, and the way it feels to be giving.
Carlsberg, now in a new twist cap bottle, made by people who care about brewing a beer they believe in.
So join the Carlsberg crowd, say it through, say it proud. Carlsberg, our kind of beer.
Gillis got 10-minute misconduct, 13:41 the time. So they're gone for the last rest of regulation time anyway.
And you look there at Dale Hunter. The Chicago Blackhawks have scored 4 goals in a row against Minnesota. There's Hunter on his way out now. He's gone for the remainder of regulation time and a bit.
Oh,
or Gillis, that's right. I'm sorry. Gillis and Nyland. So I don't know what
Hunter, I think, was testing a leg injury or something, just walking around in that runway back there.
Well, you look at the bench down there, and there are a few gaps right now. We've got people in the dressing room.
For Ryan Walter against Peter Stastny. Face-off won by Montreal. Robinson whistling a shot. And Gosselin with a glove save. Held it, and we'll get another face-off. Well, remember, stay with us. At the conclusion of this game, we'll announce the Carling O'Keefe Sports Game Stars, as selected by Ron Roosh and John Garrett. And as part of our first star selection, Carling O'Keefe Sports donates $500 to the Minor Hockey Association of the Players' Choice. Tough night to pick the outstanding player in the game. It's been a great hockey game here in Quebec.
Well, I don't know, win or lose. I like that Goulet. He has had quite a night all the way around. That last sequence down at the other end of the ice when Stastny's were buzzing around, the rebound right there was Goulet again. He's been open all night long. They haven't been able to check him a bit.
Walter, Gainey, and Deblois out for Montreal. The Stastnys and Goulet for Quebec. Face-off won by the Canadians. Green at the point, a shot up high off the glass, and Maxwell for the Nordiques to Anton Stastny. Down the ice that goes. Robinson hustles back, beats Peter Stastny to it, and it's icing against Quebec.
Well, we mentioned Chicago Blackhawks, who were down 2-0 to Minnesota at one point. They have gone in front 4-2. Al Secord is number 20. Who's that? Denny Savard, I think, carrying the puck right there. He's up at that speed. And there's the shot. There's the rebound. Mr. Secord with his second in a row. And now it is 4-2. Chicago leading Minnesota at Bloomington. And there you see what's happening here. 6-5. What happened to defense? Power plays, again, the story, as they were in the game Thursday night at the Forum. Mostly the story for Quebec. They've scored 3 goals. The Canadians have a couple, too.
Here's Robinson for Montreal. Shot wide of the net. Goulet for Quebec. Dropping it to Maxwell. Maxwell forechecked hard by Gainey. Back to Ross for number 5. Up the middle, Peter Stastny had it bounce over his stick. Goes the length of the ice. Stastny in to get it. And they whistle it down on an offside pass. Nick Stastny thought he was onside in the play, but they rule otherwise.
Well, we mentioned way back when that the special teams are so important in the playoffs. Larry Robinson, the senior member of the Canadians, by the way, in that department, next in line in games played in the playoffs. Bob Gainey was playing his 118th playoff game tonight. But the Nordiques have scored 6 power play goals in the last 2 games. The Canadians have scored 4 power play goals, so they've been, the special teams in that area have been very, very good. And penalty killing not.
Then I have a question for you. How come these teams are taking so many penalties? Silly question, huh?
That's rhetorical, if I ever heard one.
From the face-off, Gainey getting it to Chelios. Shot right on. Gosselin the save.
Well, in Winnipeg, the Winnipeg Jets just keep hanging on at home. Dave Babbage is number 44 for the Jets now. Let's see how this one winds up. Well, look, bad angle into the net. And so there it has now become a 4-4 tie. That one scored on Grant Fuhr.
Getting back to this game, Ron, 38 penalties called in the game. 67 minutes to Quebec, 61 to Montreal.
Bob Myers going to sleep well tonight.
Now here we go again. Hunter winding up on top. Is that Tremblay that he's involved with?
Oh, yeah, it looks like Mario. Two guys who really come in here and battle it out. Every second they're on the ice here. That's Mario. Sure it is. Dale Hunter, who looks
Hunter, who was cut earlier over the eye. Squaring off with Mario Tremblay, and they'll go to the penalty box. From Quebec City, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CTV.
This week only, great liquidation of Kodiak boots with slight imperfections at QUÉRÄSSE. The new light sole Kodiak work boots have slight imperfections which will not affect wear and tear. Great liquidation price of $49.99. All sales final. Sale until quantities last. Kodiak work boots for only $49.99 at QUÉRÄSSE. Where else?
We're going to get a chance to look at that as you look at Jacques Laperriere, former Norris Trophy winner. But what has started all of this was right off the face-off. Hunter's number 32 up against the boards now, and he gives Tremblay a bit of a shot. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. And Tremblay didn't think it was all right, though. And they get locked into it. So they go.
They each get 2 for high sticking, 5 for fighting. Coincidental majors involved, so those penalties don't go on the clock. And with 5:27 left in the third period, the face-off will be in the Quebec zone. The Battle of Quebec, huh?
Mario Tremblay said it best right on our opening. It will be a war. It always is.
Here's Ashton for Quebec to Bell. The Nordiques trailing 6-5. Bell, who has scored one of the Quebec goals, dumps it in, bounces near the net. Penny took no chance at all as he trapped it.
Well, Penny, at this point now, you don't want to make a mistake. The Canadians have the 1-goal advantage all year long. Jacques Lemaire has preached, play it tight when you get that 1-goal lead. Don't give up anything. And this is what's going to happen. Everybody gets involved in this sort of thing. There have been some moments here when the Canadians, at one point during the year, I think 33 of the first 40 games, the Canadians were locked in a tie or down a goal in the final minute of the game.
Airwalk for Quebec trying to center. Ashton in the clear. They score! Lima deflection in. This game is tied 6-6.
Well, that was the one thing that they tried to preach. You had a turnover at the blue line, and it turned around. Ashton was the man who turned it over right at the line. There it comes. And back it came. Now here's Ashton picking it up. He got behind Chelios, cleared it in front, and Paiement turned for the net and deflected it in. There's, first of all, Sauvé, Paiement, and then Paiement getting it from the middleman who was Ashton on the play. But the turnover came at the line, but they failed to force it out.
Will Paiment's third goal to the playoffs, and it ties the game at 6 apiece. Here's Moeller for Quebec. Now to Sauvé. Sauvé for the Nordiques, tied up by Robinson. Sauvé gets it to Paiement. Cleared it back to the goal, and Green for Montreal trying to clear one out while they're able to poke it to center. Moeller has it there, shot it back in, hit the linesman with it. Here's Green. Shooting it into the Quebec zone, and Moeller goes back after it. The scoring play for Quebec, Paiement from Ashton and Marois at the 15-minute mark to tie it. Here's Walter stealing one at center ice. Quickly checked by Ashton. And now Green for Montreal. To Naslund, who shoots it into the Quebec zone. Rice back after it for the Nordiques. To Randy Moeller. Up the middle to Stastny. Broken up at the blue line by Robinson. Back comes McPhee. He's checked, and now Mark Hunter trying to clear it in. McPhee knocks it down. Centers. Comes to Walter on the other wing. His shot. Gosselin steered it to the corner. McPhee for Montreal. Tried to drop it back. Now Anton Stastny. Clearing near the Montreal line. Green is there to clear it out. Here's DeBlois. Shot off Marois, sticking over the glass, and we're down to 3:33 left in regulation time. Montreal 6, Quebec 6.
Well, they're nervous. Ownership here, of course, along with the Canadians, who are all here in force as well, their front office. The cheerleaders who comes equipped with the state-of-the-art equipment for cheerleading. That last goal came all from Ashton and Marois at the 15-minute mark. Brent Ashton, quite a story this year.
Came from Minnesota and found a life and became a goal scorer. Here's the puck back into the Montreal zone. Ludwig is there to get it. Now to DeBlois. Humpel into forecheck. Now it's Sauvé. Tied up on the play. Now a puck cleared on the boards, and DeBlois tries to get it out. Osborne holding it in. This is Sauvé. Chelios knocks it loose. Chelios trying to clear one and does get it out of the zone. Under 3 minutes left in regulation time. Montreal 6, Quebec 6. Here's Cote. To Kumpel, he missed it, and Ludwig for Montreal to Guinea. Now to DeBlois. Rochefort there defensively for Quebec. Couldn't clear it out. Chelios held it in to Guinea. Now to Robinson. Shooting, and Gosselin got his arm on that. DeBlois given a rough ride by Moeller. Kumpel tried to clear it. Robinson holding it in. To Chelios. Shot off a skate. Chelios has it again. Drops it. Boisvert right off the bench. Trying to move in. Cote checked in. And Robinson has to go back. We're down to 2:17 left in the third period. Here's Naslund for Montreal. To Boisvert. Speeding behind the net. Marois takes him out. Boisvert to Naslund out in front. Carbonneau a shot. And I don't know where that one hit. Gosselin deflected back of the net. Here's Goulet. Less than 2 minutes to play in regulation time. Goulet's pass intercepted. Back comes Boisvert. Checked and Goulet cleared it around on the boards. And the Nordiques control as Anton Stastny, number 20. To Sauvé. 1:35 left. 6-6 to score. Robinson chasing back after a loose puck for Montreal. Now the Canadians clear to center. Moeller knocking that down. Rochefort shooting a long one back in. Benny handles that, and then Robinson cleared it. And this will cost Montreal an icing call. Rochefort back to touch it, and the faceoff will be deep in the Montreal zone. We're down to 1:11 left in the third period.
Well, you don't want to present a face-off in your own zone at this particular stage of the game. And that was what that one was. Robinson, who can really let that outlet pass go and usually hits his man, was completely wide as somebody zigged when he should have zagged. 15,345 here at the KODIAK in Quebec City, which is about 90 more than the place holds. I don't know, there's not much standing room in this place, so they've squeezed them in somewhere.
And a problem again with the ice in the Montreal goal crease.
Shots on goal are 34-25 at this point for the Nordiques. And we're in a 6-6 tie.
You know, Ron, you go back to the outset of our telecast tonight, and we talked about the emotion involved in this game, in this series between the Montreal team and the Quebec team. And we talked about them perhaps getting too much up for the game. And the penalties they take, and that's hurt both teams in this contest tonight. Here's Carbonneau clearing one. We're in the final minute of regulation time. Price back for Quebec to Marois, back to Pat Price. Here's Marois. To Peter Stastny into the Montreal zone. Ludwig is there to clear it back up. Marois for Quebec, flipping it in, knocked down by Ludwig again, and he flips it to Gainey. Number 23, Gainey, drops to Ludwig. Now to Chelios, 30 seconds left, ahead to Walter. Here's a break for Peter Stastny, gets behind Chelios, shoots, and he blasted it wide. Right back comes Naslund for Quebec. Dropping one, but it's tipped away by Paiement for Quebec. Now Rochefort for the Nordiques. To Paiement, back into Rochefort, but it's offside, and we have just 11 seconds left in regulation time.
Well, good chances at both ends. Mats Naslund, when he got over the line, tried to pass it back into the slot, and it seemed to go off the heel of his stick. Just before that, we had Peter Stastny breaking in, but he shot it wide. And again, that advantage of coming out and playing the angle well, he didn't really have very much to shoot at when Penny came out of the crease. Now we're down into the final moments here with a face-off outside the blue line and overtime looming. The Canadians have never beaten Les Nordiques in overtime.
But the Canadians have won 5 straight games here at LIQUIDATION for this regular season and the last meeting last year in the playoffs.
And there's probably a throng out there saying all that proves is that Les Nordiques are due.
Here's a long pass up the ice. Moeller intercepted the pass, which was intended for Deblois. Now to Ashton, into Sauvé, who has no stick. And regulation time ends here in Quebec City. We'll have a 10-minute intermission and then a 20-minute sudden death overtime period to decide a winner. Through 60 minutes, the Nordiques out shooting Les Canadiens 34-25, but the scoreboard 6-6.
Well, it was a game that I'm sure neither coach really wanted to see have happen. 12 goals total scored, a lot of them on the power play, 5 of the 12, and now it's into overtime.
Overtime coming up from Quebec City. The Stanley Cup playoffs on CTV.
Pontiac Fiero GT.
Want to see something really exciting?
Fiero GT. Now with the authority of a fuel-injected V6. Fiero. You got it, Pontiac.
If you're a smoker, try this test. Blow smoke through a handkerchief. That's how smoking stains your teeth. But Topol Smoker's Tooth Polish can get your teeth brighter again. Of 250,000 Topol users surveyed, 94% said yes, they'd continue buying Topol.
Because Topol really does the job.
My teeth are whiter and brighter.
Use Topol, and if you don't see your teeth get brighter, return the unused portion plus proof of purchase to Jeffrey Martin for a full refund.
Carlsberg Light, all right. Same great brew with the twist that's new. Yes, that's right. You're looking at the great new shape of Carlsberg Light. Easy opening, too. But it's what's inside that really counts. Great light taste, good beer. Carlsberg Light, all right. Raise a cheer for the new look of Carlsberg Light.
We are going to overtime in Quebec City. It is Montreal 6, Quebec 6. Just before we get into our intermission, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard in the Patrick final. On the island tonight, the Flyers still lead. That is now in the third period, but their lead is but 4-3. They lead the series 2-0. The Islanders must win tonight to bounce back in this one. In the Norris Division final, Chicago has scored 4 consecutive goals to bounce back from a 2-0 deficit. In the second period, they lead the North Stars 4-2. That series tied at 1 game apiece. And in Winnipeg, it is also tied, now at 4. In the second period, the Oilers lead that series 2-0. Joining us here in our overtime intermission, Andre Savard, who has missed a very large part of this season with a bad knee. Maybe What are your thoughts about tonight's game? This has had just a bit of everything.
Yes, I know. This is supposed to be a checking game, playoffs, I guess. But there's been weird goals from behind the net, especially Montreal, where they got 2, which one, I think it went underneath the net. But, you know, in playoffs, we've done pretty well against Montreal. We did win last year, and we won 1 this year. So we seem to have the advantage against Montreal in the overtime. So, you know, things look pretty good.
It is strange, is it not, that in Game 1, where you played Montreal's type of game, tight checking, the Nordiques had a winner in that one. In Game 2, you've got a Nordiques kind of game, a lot of goals scored. Montreal wins that one, and it seems tonight, all these goals scored, you would think that would be in Quebec's favor, but toss the coin right now.
Well, maybe it's going to end up in our favor, I hope. And I don't know. Our guys are pretty hot right now. You know, we've been putting a puck in the net, but we did. I think we started the game a little shaky, and I think we recovered from that, but not totally. And we made a few mistakes, and you know, Montreal. That's what we got to do against Montreal. I think they're a kind of team where they don't make much mistakes. So that's what we got to do. Like Game 1, where we didn't make any mistakes, and tonight we did a few, and they got a few goals against us. So, but we got to come out and very confident in overtime, and I'm sure we'll do well.
What is happening right now in the dressing room?
Right now, just rest. You know, the guys are tired. They're playing hard, and mostly it's going with 3 lines in our team. So the guys just want to rest and want to make sure the guy doesn't want to make any mistakes. So he's just thinking over personally. He's just thinking over what he's got to do personally on the ice when he gets out there. And that's about it. You know, the coach has said a lot of things during the game, and not too much things he can add right now. So I think it's just you got to recover, and you're tired, and just go out there and give your best.
Do you see both teams playing very conservative or going right to the attack?
I think there'll be a lot of chances. I think in Nordiques, you know, we've done well against Montreal in overtime, and I think the Nordiques have been coming out to score the goal right, you know, pretty soon. So I don't see laying back right now. They haven't done it for 60 minutes, so I think it's just going to keep going. And I think Michel Goulet, you know, this seems to be Michel's series. You know, he's been very good for us, and I think Michel might be the one.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
Andre Savard, it is 6-6, and we will take a look at the highlights with John Garrett when we come back. This is Carling O'Keefe Sports, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CTV.
The 1985 Chevy Cavalier is the car for the 2 of you. The one you demands his money's worth in comfort, features, and quality. The other you enjoys the performance of an electronic fuel-injected 4 or available multi-port injected V6 and GM's 5-year future guard warranty. Happily, the new Chevy Cavalier brings both of you together. No wonder it's GM's best-selling car.
It's the Chevy way to go.
Way to go, Chevy!
Way to go, Chevy!
Children don't run out of energy, but countries can. At Petro-Canada, we haven't forgotten that energy shortages do happen. We haven't forgotten the search for the energy they'll need tomorrow. We haven't forgotten Canada's future. Petro-Canada, putting Canada first.
6 times one team or another has gone ahead in this hockey game, but no one has ever led by more than 1 goal, and 6 times the other team has come back to tie it up, and that's right where we are now, 6-6, heading into sudden death overtime. We've got 12 goals to choose, but we've got a handful in the third period. John, which ones are you going to tell us about?
Well, I'm going to show you the good play Pierre Mondu makes here on McPhee's first goal. It's nice to see Pierre back. Eye injuries are scary for every hockey player, and it's nice to see him back and playing well. He makes a great play. McPhee finishes it off.
McPhee maybe a little bit of a surprise, too.
He is.
2 in a row.
Here's Mondu coming out of the corner, goes around Jean-François Sauvé, and then Brad Maxwell goes by McPhee, and he stuffs it in. Mondu had it like a magnet there. He won't like a magnet. This is the tying goal for Quebec. They're playing with a lot of emotion now. Mario Marois makes a good play, keeping it in at the blue line, and Brent Ashton, who has found his touch, slides it towards the net, and I think it might have hit Will Paymont's skate and went in. Either way, I think it would have gone in, and Mario Marois has played an exceptional game. In a 6-6 game for a defenseman to play well, it's hard to say. One of these goalies is going to have an average higher than mine this year for this game.
One of the games that broadcasters love to play is who's going to score the winning goal in sudden death. What are your thoughts?
Well, if the Nordiques score, I think it's going to be Peter Stastny. He's played pretty well, and Michel's got his 3 for the night. And if the Canadians score, I sentimental favorite, I hope Pierre Mondu scores.
I asked Andre Savard about this. There is a real tendency to come out in overtime and want to just play in your own end of the rink because you keep everybody back and don't let them score. We can't lose if they don't score. Do you expect to see real defensive play, or?
Not from the Nordique. I think the Nordique play that wide open style. They're going to try and win it as quickly as they can. Canadians might sit back and wait for a break, and that's the way they played all year. Although tonight they haven't played that way, but I think they'll revert back to the tight checking system.
You haven't been terribly impressed with the defensive play in either end tonight, have you?
No, not at all. The defensemen aren't taking the body out. They're playing the puck a lot. They aren't moving the puck as well as I've seen them. And it's hard for a team like Montreal in particular. They need that Larry Robinson to make the good plays, Chris Chelios. And the Nordique, their forwards, when they come back, they often just stand around and make the defense look a little worse than they really are.
So goaltender John Garrett says, it may be 6-6, but it is not the goaltender's fault. Sudden death is coming up in a moment. It is 6-6 in Quebec City. This is Carling O'Keefe Sports, the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs on CTV.
The essence of hitting. George Brett.
Some guys say it's the rhythm, reading the pitch. For me, it's a feeling that says I'm going downtown.
The essence of shaving.
This is Atra by Gillette. It pivots so the twin blades stay on your beard longer. But what Atra is all about is the feeling that says you just got Gillette's best shave.
Gillette, the essence of shaving.
Take off in your truck. Take off in your 4x4. Take off in your van. Take him off the street for a blast in the country, because on the highway or booting it through the bush, you're flying high on Uniroyal Laredos, all-terrain tug, and street silent. Laredo. From Uniroyal.
We're ready for sudden death overtime here at LIQUIDATION in Quebec City. The end of regulation time, 6-6. A goaltender's nightmare here in Quebec City in Game 3 of the Adams Division. Ron Roche, I really didn't expect this type of game, did you?
No, and it's not been a classic in terms of playoff-style hockey. There have been a lot of mistakes out there, but mistakes quite often make for exciting nights for the fans, at least. In the 6-6 tie, there's been an awful lot of goal scoring. The purists won't like it too much. We've got an update from the game in Minnesota, where the Minnesota North Stars are hanging tough against the Chicago Blackhawks. Craig Hartsburg, number 4, moving in and just shooting it in. There he is. Good wrist shot there. And Hartsburg has given the Minnesota North Stars at least a chance here as they've moved to within goal of Chicago. But Chicago continues to lead that one 4-3.
John Garrett, the goaltender from the Vancouver Canucks, is our analyst tonight. John, did I really hear you say that the goaltending was good here tonight? Did I really hear that from John Garrett?
I never said it was good. I just didn't blame the goalies. I think that Mario let in a tough goal from behind the net on Mike McPhee. You can't get your body outside the post like that and give him a chance to bank it in. I don't think Steve Penny's been as sharp as we've seen him. But it's been one of those games where everything's going in. You look at the winning goal, the tying goal, and it was a maze of players, and a lot of them have been rebounds, and they've been left by themselves. It hasn't been a classic tight checking playoff performance.
Not at all, and I think, as John pointed out, the loose defensive play in both ends of the rink has been surprising.
You talked a little bit about the penalties earlier. I was saying that, penalties are going to come when these two teams meet. The thing about it is that there have been a lot of penalties that are not... Disciplined players have been getting penalties. And there's another factor in this one, and it's a factor I think that has to be brought up. I don't think Bob Myers has let them play out there. I think there have been an awful lot of very cheap penalties called in the game, penalties that really weren't necessary, that weren't going to lead to, if they weren't called, to breakouts on the ice. And so... you call penalties, but you call penalties, when you think that order is being threatened. And I don't think a lot of them, there was any problem about breaks at all on the ice. So you've got the double factor there.
Meanwhile, these teams have met 3 times previously in overtime, and Quebec has won all 3 previous meetings. Earlier this year in Game 1, Mark Kumpel scored the winning goal. Game in the 83-84 series, Bo Berglund scored. And in their first meeting in 81-82, Dale Hunter scored. So it's always been Quebec in overtime against Montreal.
Well, the Dale Hunter goal was the one that most Montreal fans remember. That was the year that the Nordic went back in the best-of-5 series for the 5th game in Montreal. They went into overtime, and 22 seconds in, Hunter broke out of the zone, beat Brian Engblom at the blue line, and then skated all the way in and jammed it past the goaltender. And that was the first one of 3. We've had one, of course, one here on the Mark Kumpel goal earlier in this series.
Who's going to score the winning goal, Ron Rooch?
Well, looking at the way they're playing, I would look at a Goulet, just simply because he's always around the net for the Nordic. And if it were a member of the Canadians, I'll tell you what, on a long shot, just off the way he's played, I think Deblois. How's that?
Here we go with sudden death overtime. The Canadians immediately controlling, clear to center. Boisvert shooting it in, and Price goes back to get it, number 7 for the Nordiques. Cleared to Pima. He missed it. Here's Ludwig shooting right on, and a good stick save there by Gosselin on a tough shot by Ludwig. Gelios cleared it. Sauvé intercepts. Sauvé for the Nordiques. Cutting in front of the net, cleared by Ludwig, and Smith comes right back for Montreal. Smith weaved over to the right, and Ludwig went in ahead of the play offside on left wing, and the faceoff will be at the Quebec blue line.
Well, Wayne Gretzky has scored for the Edmonton Oilers, and they've gone in front again on the Winnipeg Jets. 6:13 of the 3rd period. Watch for number 99. There he is as he beats the check at the blue line, and he's all alone. And how about that? Cradled it nicely and then went to his backhand.
Marbineau, Boisvert, and Gainey, the Montreal forward line. The Nordiques, the home ice team, get the benefit of the extra change, and they send out the Stastnys and Goulet for this face-off at their own blue line. The series is tied 1 game apiece, and here Game 3 is tied at 6-6, and we're in sudden death. Puck shot in by Montreal. Miroir back for the Nordiques to Goulet. Intercepting it is Carbonneau. Behind the net, Deblois couldn't knock the pass down. Anton Stastny for Quebec. Lead pass off Robinson, and that's put Goulet offside. Just the tick of the puck by Robinson put the play offside.
Well, there's Michel Goulet, who's from Perabonka, Quebec. If you're wondering where Perabonka is, they're about 99% of Quebec doesn't know where it is. It's up in the Lac-Saint-Jean area. It's a little town of 700 up there. They come from the little towns across the country, play in the National Hockey League. Well, what a game he's had. 3 goals. What a Stanley Cup he's had.
11 goals so far in the playoffs for Goulet. Here's Moeller for Quebec. Trying to clear it in. Now it comes to Price. He fires it in. Penny lets it go. So does Gainey, and Moeller couldn't hold it in at the point. Randy Moeller to Peter Stastny. He's closely checked. Now Price with a long shot. Penny the save on that. And Kerbers has the puck for Montreal. Couldn't get it by Goulet. Now Kerbers again to the Quebec end, and a shot wide by a couple of feet. Carbonneau into the corner. To Deblois. Shot it in front. Comes to Kerbers at the point. Kerbers' shot turned aside by Goulet. Now Deblois trying to flip it in. Cleared by Quebec, and here's Anton Stastny. Off the boards to Goulet. Moving in. Goulet shoots wide. Trying to get it to Stastny. Now Stastny hammered into the boards, and he's down on the ice and injured. Seems to have injured his shoulder the way he went into the board.
Well, he was really checked in there as he tried to pick up the puck, and now they're going after Gainey. Goulet went after him. Gainey was the one that checked him. And we'll have to look for replays on this one to see what happened, but watch Gainey's number 23 now. Stastny picks it up behind the net, and well, there's nothing wrong with the check, except for it looked like as Gainey was touching him, Goulet, or at least Stastny, seemed to start to fall down, and then he went head first into the board. So he's on his knees and behind the net. Take a look at it again, and so it was just one of those checks.
Meanwhile, the Nordiques had an excellent chance. Goulet was trying to get the puck to Stastny. Couldn't quite get it through the defenseman. Stastny, who was alone in front of the net in the slot.
Well, the one thing you're always going to find with Bob Gainey around, he's going to finish his check. He's going to go in. You better be ready because he is noted for it. And that's what he did. He finished it on Stastny. Stastny probably knew he was coming and tried to duck a little bit and stumbled. And that's what caused the problem. He's all right. He's on the bench.
The faceoff will be moved outside the Montreal blue line. We've played 1 minute and 50 seconds of overtime. Now Quebec with Sauvé, Paiement, and Ashton. Montreal with the line of Walter, McPhee on left wing, and Hunter on the right side. Here's Ludwig. Cleared to center, knocked down there by Marois. Long bouncer, Penny a pad save. Chelios quickly cleared it. Here's Mark Hunter to Walter. Flips near the Quebec line. Rochefort knocking that down. Paiement for Quebec. Now here's Hunter. Into McPhee, who has scored 2 of the Montreal goals. To Hunter, number 20. Cleared by the Nordiques. Held in by Ludwig. Shot! Rebound! Oh, and it's tipped away at the last second by the Quebec defenseman Marois. That looked like the winner right there, but Marois saved the day for the Nordiques.
Oh, goodness. He'll lose sleep, will Mark Hunter, over that one. The result of all of that down at the other end of the ice. Let's take a look at it again. Marois right in front. There's Hunter. It just touched the stick of Gosselin, and then Marois cut in behind it, was sliding toward the line, but oh so agonizingly slow. Watch it again. Now reaching for it, and he just got a stick on it. It was on its way into the net, and Hunter then lunged for it, but Marois was there, cutting across the goal mouth and taking it out of harm's way. Mark Hunter had the game winner on his stick and couldn't put it in.
Wow. You don't come any closer and not score.
You know what he's saying down there? I should have lifted it. But you know, when you got the game winner, you know it, and just didn't get up.
Here's Smith for Montreal trying to center one. Bobby Smith got it in front. Goulet cleared it, held in by Green for Montreal. To Boisvert. Boisvert tried to center twice. Bats it away. Boisvert still after the puck. And now Moeller for Quebec. Can't clear it. Crumple is there to cover up. Shoots it to the Montreal blue line, and here are the Canadians with Naslin. Matt Naslin shoots one. Gosselin against his chest, took it and held on to it. And another face-off coming up in the Quebec zone.
Well, the Canadians have dominated this overtime period. They have just 2 shots Quebec has in the overtime. The replay of that shot. But the fellow has been pretty dominant tonight offensively, at least. In the first period, then seemed to disappear from sight for a period and a half or so. It seems to be coming back a little bit. But they need him, too. He's the gunner on the Canadians, the only 40-goal scorer.
Peter Stastny back out there for Quebec after being injured earlier in the overtime. Ian Carbonneau on the faceoff. Carbonneau, Tremblay, and Gainey for Montreal. Tremblay cleared it behind the net. Quebec with the Stastny brothers and Cote. And here's Peter Stastny breaking out on right wing. Gets it to Cote. Cote trying to center one. Good defensive play by Carbonneau to take him out. And Carbonneau then cleared to Tremblay, who comes to center, but Rochefort is there for Quebec. Couldn't clear it out. Now the Nordiques, Peter Stastny flipping one ahead to brother Anton. Anton Stastny puts a shot up too high, away up into the crowd here at Le Coliseum in Quebec City.
Well, Anton Stastny took a shot on the cheekbone during the Buffalo series, broke the cheekbone, and that's the reason he's playing with the visor. Boy, we see so many facial injuries now in the National Hockey League. Some say it's the helmet. Some say there are too many visors around, especially in the minor leagues. Whatever it is, it seems to be almost epidemic proportions right now.
Anton Stastny to the bench. The Canadians sending out Walter with Hunter and McPhee. This is the line that just about scored the previous time out. Sauvé, Goulet, and Paiement up front for Quebec. Face-off just inside the Montreal blue line. Sudden death overtime here in Game 3 of the Adams Division Final. On the face-off, Chelios flipping one to Mark Hunter. Price knocked it down, shot it back in with a teammate trapped in the zone offside.
Well, this time they'll bring the faceoff outside the blue line. Dale Hunter, he suffered a serious knee injury when he was hit by his brother. That's Mark Hunter, hit by his brother Dale. He hit right in this building on an accidental play.
Sauvé and Walter on the faceoff. Chelios coming up with it. Cleared to center. Paymon knocks that down and backhands it into the Montreal zone. Penny for Ludwig. He gives it to Chelios. Shot off the boards, and McPhee feeds one. Here's a chance for Mark Hunter again. Around Price and on goal. Oh, and he hit the goal post this time. And then the goal was knocked loose. And now an altercation in the corner. Did that shot just kick that goal post on the way by, Ron?
Well, I don't know. Let's watch it here. Again, Hunter. This is twice now. He's had a good chance. He beats Price on this play. Gets in front. He's alone now. And it deflected off Gosselin and may have tinged off the crossbar as well. Let's take a look at the other side now. Here comes Hunter to the right of your screen. And he gets to the forehand, which he wanted to do. Now he's going to get a chance to get it up. And it cleared the top of the net. So Hunter has had two golden opportunities here in the overtime. Just hasn't been able to put it in. And he's upset, as you can see.
Two great chances for Mark Hunter. One Marois stop, the other Gosselin stop. And now a face-off deep in the Quebec zone. The Nordiques sending out the Stastnys and Cote. Montreal with Smith, Naslund, and Boisvert.
When's the last time we went 4 minutes and 12 seconds without a goal, Dan, in this game?
Here's Ludwig, a drive. Off a stick and then off the glass, and Cote for Quebec to Peter Stastny. Peter Stastny gets it in front. Naslund there to clear it. Now Anton trying to center, and Ludwig comes back for Montreal. Greg Ludwig to Carbonneau. Gosselin cleared that away. And there's Marois to Anton Stastny. Long pass to Cote, number 19. Cote moving in. His low shot wide of the net. Gainey back for the Canadians. Fires it up to center ice. Moeller has it there. To Cote, who dumps it back in, but it's offside at the Montreal blue line.
Well, Lucien Deblois has had his problems here. The shots on goal in the overtime. Montreal 6, Quebec 2. The two major chances were Mark Hunter's. Deblois just rounding into form right now. Had a very, very good game on Thursday night against the Nordiques, and has played pretty well here tonight. It's been a factor, certainly.
Carbonneau back to talk over some strategy with Green here. And now Robinson will join Green on the Montreal defense. Walter with Hunter and McPhee. Quebec with Dale Hunter. Goulet on one wing. And over on the other wing, Kumpel. Here's Goulet. Feeding it in for Dale Hunter. Robinson rides him out. Kumpel back to the net. Robinson checked him as well, and Walter uses the boards to get it to Mark Hunter. Mark Hunter got to center, couldn't get any further. Green for Montreal. Just dumps it in. Moeller back for Quebec. To Kumpel. Kumpel dropping one, and Price has it for Quebec. Back to Mark Kumpel. Flips it in. Green going back for the Canadians. Green flipped it off the boards, and Hunter cleared it, held in by Rochefort, but he knocked it up over the glass, and the faceoff will be outside the Montreal blue line.
Rick Green was one of the stars in the last game, the Thursday night game. Green set up the winning goal in that game with a nice play as he, first of all, held the puck at the blue line to keep it in and then slipped it in to Mats Naslund, who just had to deflect it in. And Rick Green, who's gone through his career with a lot of injuries, never completed a full season, and this year, one of those rare occasions where he really played most of the year. Missed, I think, just 1 or 2 games.
We played 5 minutes, 23 seconds of overtime. Still Montreal 6, Quebec 6. It's shot to center by the Canadians. Back comes Ashton with Chelios back. Chelios blocks the shot. Ashton gets loose behind the goal. To Paymon. Penny the save. He didn't know where it was for a moment, but he held on to it. And a close call there for the Nordiques.
Well, play your position. And again, Penny was right there. Good size, and he takes some good space in that goal mouth area. Get a good view of this now as the puck comes out. Watch Penny. Don't watch the puck. Watch him now. He doesn't know exactly what's going to happen, so he just sets himself up. And the shot comes in. He thought it was going to deflect behind the net, but he was in position to take it off his chest protector, and it dropped down behind his pads, and he held it there.
And now the Nordiques with a big face-off in the Montreal zone. Gillis will take it for Quebec against Guy Carbonneau for the Canadiens. And the Canadiens win the draw. Chelios cleared it on the boards, knocked down by Gillis. Shot over onto the other wing, and Genie for Montreal cleared it. Ashton held it in, but and Carbonneau able to clear it to center. Marois knocked it down. Here's Genie for Montreal. Ashton cleared it away. Ludwig at center to Chelios. Now Carbonneau for Montreal. Over to Tremblay. Mario Tremblay dumping it in, and Marois back for the Nordiques. Number 22 and the Nordiques captain. To Rochefort. Norm Rochefort for Quebec. Centered it out in front. Tipped away by Green, and Naslund gets it for Montreal. Pass to Tremblay out of his reach. Knocked away by Gillis for Quebec, and Smith has it for Montreal. Now to Robinson. He dumps it in. Rochefort there for Quebec. Trying to clear it, gets it to Ashton. And then it's cleared to center, and Robinson for Montreal over to Naslund. Bouncing one wide of the net. Rochefort is there. And now Paul Gillis for Quebec. Over to Moeller. They head to Paymoff. To Ashton, but intercepted by Green for Montreal. Hunter has had two great chances already. Knocked down by Rochefort. Here's a lead pass to Goulet, but Robinson broke it up. Now Green. To Hunter, ahead to Naslund. Long shot. Gosselin handling that. Moeller for Quebec. To Anton Stastny. He missed it. Robinson at center. Backhanding it in. Gosselin leaving it there, and Moeller feeds one, intercepted by McPhee, out to Hunter. Banned on his shot as the puck bounced on him, and the Nordiques come back. Here's Goulet. Around Chelios hit the goal post. Oh, Goulet hit the post. A shot from the point. Chelios to save. Stastny a shot. Penny a save on that. Here's Peter Stastny. Ridden up. And now Hunter to Chelios. Chelios spun around by Price, and Marois gets it for Quebec. Two great chances for the Nordiques on that last rush.
Tremendous chance.
Here's Anton Stastny. He had one of them. But Carbonneau breaks it up, and back comes McPhee. McPhee trying to work around the defense, but it's offside at the Quebec blue line.
Well, one of my predictions nearly came through. What a great move by Goulet as he came across the blue line on Chelios. He had the one man to beat. The only way he was going to beat him is Chelios tried to play the puck and not the man, and look what happened. Now here's one of the best shooters in the league, and he rattled it off the post.
And then right after that, Anton Stastny almost won it.
All right, here it comes now as the puck comes in. Chelios bats it away into the slot. There's Anton baiting on it and off the glove and over top of the net. Whoa. Boy, we've had quite an overtime here.
Here are the Nordiques with Moeller flipping it off the boards to Kumpel, number 17, who shoots it in. Cote going in. He and Boisvert fight for it. The puck now winds up underneath Cote. And they're going to, as a result, move the face-off outside the Montreal blue line.
Well, it is all over at Long Island. The Philadelphia Flyers have defeated the New York Islanders 5-3. The final goal of the game was an empty net goal. Ilkka Sinisalo from center ice just rolling it in there. So now the Islanders are behind 3-0 in their series and in a big hole. They've done it before, though.
Yeah, they have. Several years ago against Pittsburgh in a best-of-7. Earlier this year, down 2-0 in a best-of-5 against Washington, and came back to win. Here in overtime, the Nordiques shooting it into the Montreal zone. Robinson back for the Canadiens. Larry Robinson tied up by Hunter and cleared to center, and here's Naslund. Couldn't get it around Moeller. Dale Hunter for Quebec. Knocked down by Naslund into Carbonneau. Shoots up too high, but off Price's stick. and goes up into the glass, over the glass.
Well, a 2-on-1 got set up there, but nothing resulted on it as the Canadians didn't hop on it as quickly as they might have, and Carbonneau then let one fly, wound up over top of the glass. Talk about fellas coming from the small towns in Quebec and across the country. Guy Carbonneau from Sept-Îles originally. Played his junior hockey up in Chicoutimi. Came up the hard way through the Canadiens organization, through the minor leagues.
Good, solid two-way hockey player.
He learned how down there at Nova Scotia Voyageurs, which was then the farm team for the Canadiens.
Walter coming over the boards with Boisvert and McPhee for Montreal. The Nordiques with the Stastnys and Elaine Cote. Peter Stastny back to Rochefort, over to Marois. To Rochefort, up the middle to Peter Stastny, now to Cote. His shot blocked by Green, and Robinson controls for Montreal. Back to Green, quickly to Boisvert. Shot to center, Rochefort back for Quebec. Pulls away from Walter. Rochefort jumping it in. Robinson hustles back for the Canadiens. Flips it out to Boisvert. Now it's centered to McPhee. Trying to break in. Rochefort back to clear it away. Here's Robinson shooting. Gosselin. A glove save on a very low shot from the point by Robinson.
Well, a dangerous one, too. You don't like those ones that skip in front of you. And Gosselin went to his knees just to make sure of it, then fielded it on the short hop, if I can use baseball vernacular. And we remain at 6, and we're approaching the 10-minute mark of the first overtime period. We've got a long time. A 6-6 tie, and then suddenly we've had good action here in the overtime. Goaltenders have taken over.
They played 9 minutes and 26 seconds of sudden death. Faceoff will be deep in the Quebec zone. Paul Gillis against Carbonneau for Montreal. And the Nordiques win the draw. This is Moeller for Quebec. Up to Price, off the boards to Ashton. Right wing pass to Paymont. Ludwig knocked it down. Now Chelios cleared it. Here's Ashton. Shoots one wide by 2 or 3 feet. Gainey right back for Montreal. Gainey firing it around on the boards. Chelios at the point. Shoots up high off the glass. Here's Ludwig pinching in. Flipped it behind the goal to Deblois. Moeller tying him up. Puck comes to Carbonneau. Carbonneau shoots from a bad angle wide of the net. And it bounces off the boards all the way into the Montreal zone. Here's Robinson to Smith. Bobby Smith into Boisvert, back to Smith. Gosselin sprawling save, and he's able to smother it. And Mario Gosselin with a game saver right there.
Another one. Gosselin, this time on Bobby Smith. Watch the give and go, and Smith is wide open in front, and he tried to chip it over Gosselin. It looked like he had it, and I think the pad got in the way and knocked it down into the goal mouth area. Let's take another look at it. Again, Boisvert, number 12, out into the slot, and here he chips it, and it got the blocker. The blocker, as he was going down, get in the way, that's all you can do. And another game saver. That's the 9th shot in the overtime for the Canadiens, 4 for Quebec.
And Mario Gosselin towels himself off. If you are a Nordique fan, you just had a reprieve.
That's right. About 3. Mark Hunter with his 2 chances, Smith, and of course the Goulet post on the other end. So that didn't count as a shot on goal, by the way.
They played 10 minutes and 24 seconds of sudden death. Walter against Peter Stastny, deep in the Quebec zone. One of the wingers jumped the gun. That's why they delayed dropping the puck. And again, it was McPhee of Montreal who was into the circle. Puck dropped unfairly. They'll do it over again. Herbers shoots the puck back into the linesman for another faceoff.
Getting a little antsy here, a faceoff deep in the zone.
Ryan Walter and Peter Stastny. Walter gets it. McPhee couldn't get it in front, got it into the corner. Canadians Couldn't hold it there, and it's Peter Stastny for the Nordiques. To Rochefort. He dumps it into the Montreal zone. Goulet taking it into the corner to Anton Stastny, but Kerbers has it for Montreal. Stolen by Goulet, cleared behind the net. Green for the Canadians. Firing one out for McPhee. McPhee to Hunter. Pass goes all the way down the ice. Rochefort back to get it. Couldn't. The Canadians dig in. And McPhee unable to center, and back comes Peter Stastny. To Anton Stastny. Now to Goulet, to Anton. Right in. Oh, and a big save by Penny with his skate there. There's Kerbers for Montreal. Now to Deblois. Knocked down by Moeller. And Place has it for Quebec. Back to Moeller. Number 21, Moeller for the Nordiques. Drop pass to Dale Hunter. His shot deflects into the corner. Kerbers getting it. And the Canadians come out with Carbonneau trying to feed Deblois. Shot back in by Moeller for Quebec. Penny leaving it for Green. Green to Deblois. Headmanning it to Gainey. Back to Deblois. Deblois cuts behind the net. Deblois trying to center. Does, but the net has been knocked loose. In behind the Quebec goaltender, Mario Gosselin.
Well, the Canadians had just made a defensive change, and that's the reason why everything got messed up at the blue line. But here's the scoring chance down at the other end. And what a chance there. Again, they're getting a little bit behind the defense, and that one just kind of squirted out the other side with people floating around. Let's look at it again. That's Anton getting in there, and I guess that's Peter on the other side who had the opportunity, but he was checked just at the side of the net. No chance to go after that rebound. So a face-off will be down in the Nordic end. Bobby Smith's going to take the draw for the Canadians against Dale Hunter.
They've now played 11 minutes and 57 seconds of overtime. Here's Smith against Dale Hunter, and they'll both get tossed out. Boisvert will take the draw against Michel Goulet of Quebec. On the face-off, the Canadian Smith gets it. Couldn't get a shot off, and Goulet cleared it out. Shot back in by Ludwig, and it's offside at the Quebec blue line.
Well, let's go to Bloomington, Minnesota right now, where the Chicago Blackhawks were ahead of the Minnesota North Stars 4-3 entering the final moments. They pull the goaltender out, and number 27 there is Darryl Sutter. Puts it in, an empty net goal, and that's a final score now. And Chicago has defeated Minnesota 5-3.
Here's the loose puck into the Montreal zone. Penny out to clear it. Knocked down by Goulet. Goulet takes a whack at it, but the Canadian Smith comes up with the puck. They head to Naslin. That's Naslin. Stops. Centered. Knocked down by Merloff. And the Nordiques come back. Goulet flipping it in. Going back is Robinson, and it will be icing against Quebec, and you can see both teams showing some weariness here, Ron.
Well, this is the longest overtime game that these two teams have played. The overtime in the first game was the longest prior to that, when Mark Kumpel finally scored at 12:23 of the overtime. We've had the short one or two, the 22-second job way back in the first meeting of these two teams in the fifth and deciding game of that short preliminary round series. The Canadians were eliminated by Le Nordique.
Gillis will take the face-off for Quebec. No, he won't. At the last second, the Nordiques make a change, and the Stastnys and Cote come over the boards.
Notice there's not a lot of, quite often you get a situation, a key face-off deep in a zone like this, you would send two centermen out. So if one gets kicked out, you've got the other one to take the draw. That is not happening for either team right now. So they're just playing it. They're looking not to give up goals as much as score a goal here.
Ryan Walter has been over to check with the Montreal coaching staff and now talks about something with Bob Myers. Walter, meanwhile, will take this face-off for Montreal. 7:29 left in the first overtime.
I think Jacques Lemaire told him something, and
he's relaying it.
Yeah,
Peter Stastny and Walter. Puck dropped. McPhee for Montreal. Trying to give it to Walter. Now Cote for Quebec. Down at the center. Intercepted there by McPhee. And Green cleared it on the boards. Here's Peter Stastny. Dropping one back to Moeller. Head to Stastny. The pass behind him. Goes the link to the ice. Green back to get it. Icing against Quebec at another face-off deep in the Nordique zone.
Yeah, we're so far into overtime that the other games, including the Midwest games, are over now. Edmonton has defeated Winnipeg 5-4, and the Oilers lead that series 3-0. Pretty good shape there. Islanders have lost to Philadelphia. The Flyers lead that series 3-0, and now Chicago has moved in front of Minnesota in that series 2-1 with their victory tonight. So right here, that's very much up in the air. 6-6 with 12:55 gone in the first overtime period.
The way these teams scored in regulation time, I did not think we'd have a very long overtime. But a lot of things I didn't think have happened tonight.
Well, it was a little sloppier than I think we expected if we were predicting this afternoon over coffee.
Here's Gillis against Walter, deep in the Quebec zone. And they're going to toss Gillis out of there as well as Walter. Neither player would get ready for the faceoff. No, Walter doesn't get tossed out, just Gillis. And Pema will step in to take the draw. These teams are center icemen are being very careful in these faceoffs. Now on the faceoff, the Canadians get it into the corner, but Moeller has it for Quebec. To Price. Price working to center. Robinson went down to break it up. There's to McPhee. Got in now by Walter. And Moeller is back for Quebec. Ahead to Paul Gillis, who flipped it. Ludwig knocks it down, and now as the Nordiques carry in, the play is offside at the Montreal blue line. Well, providing this game is over by Thursday, we'll have game 4 in this series. Right back here at Le Coliseum in Quebec City, 7:30 Eastern time, the Canadians and the Nordiques.
Well, I wonder if it'll be any different. They can play tight defensive hockey, Dan. Let me tell you that.
Now Bob Myers over to indicate Quebec can't make another change.
And all those people from the Adams division who keep telling everybody who will listen how tough it is to play in this division. You really have to slug it out, play defensive hockey, and here we are in a 6-6 tie.
Here's Robinson for Montreal. Flipping it in, Boisvert races in for the Canadians, knocked it behind the net, but Rosspour is there for Quebec to Ashton. Now to Gillis, broken up by the back checking of Boisvert to Smith, ahead to Naslund. In the clear, Naslund! Gosselin! Highway robbery on Matt Naslund! And Gosselin just saved it again for Quebec. Long shot by Pema, Penny the save. Now the Canadians again with Bobby Smith. To Boisvert, shot in. Moeller back to get it. And the Nordiques come back. Randy Moeller fires it behind the goal. Hunter on the other wing racing in, couldn't get it. Price wide by 2 or 3 feet. Now Kumpel centered one, knocked away by Robinson, and the Canadians have a 3-on-2. Robinson leading it in, but it's offside at the Quebec blue line. Matt Naslund foiled in his attempt to win this game by Mario Gosselin.
Well, if you have a scouting report on Matt Naslund, when he comes in alone, he'll always go to the goal mouth. He'll never let it go. And here he comes. And Gosselin just stuck right with him, went into the butterfly. Matt's on the backhand, couldn't get it up. Here we go again. But you know that Matt's is not going to wind up and blast it. So the goaltender has a chance to get ready. He tried to put it in the corner pocket, as it were, between the pads. But Gosselin had it covered up.
Now 5:45 left in the first overtime. The Stastny brothers and Cote for Quebec. Walter, McPhee, and Mark Hunter for the Canadians. Here's Green. Ridden out by Rosspour. Puck comes back to the net. Anton Stastny cleared it away. McPhee steals it. He drops it back to Walter. Cleared it into the corner. Rosspour is there, and he fires it back into the other corner where Marois takes over. Long pass to Peter Stastny. Off the mark. It was ruled the Canadians could have played it, so Penny came out and cleared it away. Montreal with Gainey. To Carbonneau, now to Tremblay. Mario Tremblay, long shot, just wide. Gosselin may have got a piece of it with his hand, and it was just wide. Now Anton Stastny to Peter Stastny. Gainey intercepted. Gainey shot blocked. Now it's poked away, but Green is back for the Canadians. Green sliding one to the Quebec line. Price has it there to Moeller. They head to Anton Stastny. Anton Stastny gets to the puck first, so the play is onside. He's pinned there by Green. And now the Nordiques with a face-off coming up in the Montreal zone.
And we haven't had very many face-offs down in the Montreal zone in this overtime period. The Canadians have dominated. They've had 4 of the 5 good scoring chances in the overtime. Mark Hunter with 2 chances early, then Bobby Smith getting that pass from Boisvert, and then Naslund all alone. And it's been Gosselin who's been the story of the overtime. Goulet hit the post, and that's been the main chance for the Nordiques. All it takes is 1, remember, and it doesn't matter. At the end, you count the 1, not the shots.
The Nordiques president, Marcel Lebeau, looking on. His team has the big face-off deep in the Montreal zone. 4:40 left in the first overtime. Walter against Gillis, and the Canadians come up with the puck, and here's Robinson. Up to Walter. Ryan Walter. Long shot off the stick of Marois. And up into the crowd again.
Well, a fellow who is largely underrated by the rest of the league. He's had a pretty good year, Ryan Walter. Hasn't scored a lot of goals. But in the scheme of things under Jacques Lemaire, you're not asked to score a lot of goals. They want you to check. They want you to do the slugging along the boards. And there are a few that do it better than Ryan Walter. He's been troubled by bad knees over recent years, but he has had, I think, when it's all summed up by his coaches and so on, a pretty good year.
Walter against Dale Hunter on this face-off just inside the Quebec blue line. And the Canadians get it. Robinson backhanding it into the Quebec into the ring. Mario Marois is there for Quebec. Just passed over to Rochefort, to Goulet. Off his stick, and Robinson cleared it away for the Canadians. Shot back in by Quebec, and Ludwig for Montreal to McPhee. To Bobby Smith. Spun around, cleared it in. Marois cleared it out. Now Bobby Smith shooting it in. Game has tightened up a lot. We've had chances, though, in overtime, particularly by Montreal. Here's Goulet. Long shot. Penny to his knees to catch that. And he held it, and will get a face-off in the Montreal zone.
Well, if you're sitting back there at home wondering if this is the longest overtime of this Stanley Cup year, no, it is not. The Washington Capitals won a game, a very controversial goal scored in the second overtime against the Islanders. We see Michel Goulet head for the players' bench. I'm sure pretty tired. He has skated a great deal.
This has been a tough physical game with the brawling earlier and the penalties you've had to kill off, and teams are really showing it at this point.
Star of the first 3 periods, I think, was Goulet. Star of the overtime has been Gosselin.
Face-off coming up, won by Quebec. Here's Peter Stastny. Getting it in front, but Mario Tremblay is there. Now Tremblay feeding one around on the boards to Gainey. Gainey falls, but clears it into the Quebec zone. And number 21, Randy Moeller, for Quebec to J.F. Sauvé. Here's Sauvé. Trying to go around Kerbers, and Kerbers able to poke it back out. Carbonneau then checked by Sauvé. Sauvé in on right wing to Peter Stastny. Into Sauvé. Back to Moeller, shooting off the side of the net with that low drive. Here's Sauvé again. Into Anton Stastny. Back to Moeller. Not wide. Peter Stastny tried to jam it in. Still loose, and then Penny came across and grabbed the loose puck after it slid right through his goal crease.
You know, there's a trend this day and age to go for big goaltenders. There's the reason why. Now, Penny was under a great deal of pressure right at the goal post. Now, he had to hold off a couple of people right at the side there, and a smaller man might not have been able to handle that.
Following the game, remember, stay with us. We'll announce the Carling O'Keefe Sports Game Stars tonight. And as part of our first star selection, Carling O'Keefe Sports donates $500 to the Minor Hockey Association of that player's choice. Big face-off now in the Montreal zone. 2:52 left in the first overtime. Walter will take it against Gillis. Gillis gets it. It comes to Rossford. A shot deflected and went wide. Now Ludwig to McPhee. To Mark Hunter. Goulet intercepting that. And Marois feeds to Rossford for Quebec. Back to Marois. Lead pass to Goulet. Goulet centered one. Here's Paymoff to Gillis in the corner. He's tied up by Walter. In comes Goulet, and they all fall in a heap right on top of the puck.
All lock legs and fall down. And so we'll get a face-off again on the Canadiens' end, and we're getting a few more of those now than we did through the first 12 or 13 minutes of this period. So the Nordic, after the Canadiens had the pressure on for much of the early going, and now fading back, falling back a little bit. Well, you can see it on the faces, though. They were tired. And you play this game for 60, maybe 65 minutes each night. You get an overtime game, and then suddenly here you are finishing up a fourth period. And now they're undermanned, too. Here's a point, Dan. You lost a couple of people through game misconducts now. The Jimmy Manns and the Steve Rooney's, they're the guys that you'd like to be able to put out here at this particular time in a game, just to give a few people a breather.
Walter again on a face-off. This time it'll be Peter Stastny for Quebec. We're down to 2 minutes, 23 seconds left in the first overtime. Shots on goal, by the way, in overtime. Montreal 10, Quebec 8. Now they get ready for this face-off in the Montreal end. And Walter wins the key face-off. Kerber's behind the net. Pinned there by Sauvé. Now Walter gets it to McPhee, who shoots it down the ice. Place going back for Quebec. Cleared it. Intercepted by McPhee, but it had come outside the blue line and is called on an offside at the Quebec line.
Well, you see the secret of Boisvert's success. He's, first of all, hustling a lot better than he did a couple of times earlier in the year when he came up from the minor leagues. And he's sticking his nose into it, but he's got speed, and the speed helps him out. He got down in there, put the pressure on Pat Price, and kind of forced Price to throw it up the boards. It was just that it was mistimed a little bit at the blue line for McPhee, who was coming up on the play.
We're down now to 2:10 left in the first overtime. Quebec control from the faceoff. Quick pass to Dale Hunter. He fires it in. Digging in his Kumpel, centered up. Drop. Goulet is stopped by Penny. That puck seemed to go up on end on him just as he went to shoot.
Not very often, you know, you see Michel. Here it comes now. The puck is thrown out in front, and watch number 16. He floats into open ice, and there he is. And it just came up on edge on him, threw it up on the chest protector, and even then, Penny was in jeopardy, but he managed to corral the rebound. A lot of traffic in there. See it again. Out in front, it goes past Dale Hunter and hit Rick Green. And there's the shot up off the shoulder.
Michel Goulet scored 3 earlier, but that time stopped by Penny. Here's Hunter and Carbonneau on a face-off. Again, it's in the Montreal zone. Hunter getting it back to Price at the point. Behind the net to Dale Hunter. Out in front, Goulet a whack at it. Blocked by Carbonneau. Now Goulet centered. Comes into the slot in Gainey for Montreal to Deblois. Here's Carbonneau. Dropping it to Deblois. Shot, a weak one, wide of the net. Gainey trying to center. Carbonneau to Deblois. Checked just as he went to shoot by Goulet. And then Gosselin was able to make the save. Now Kumpel is bumped on the play. Green for Montreal. Tied up. Dale Hunter. Shooting. Quebec wins it on a Montreal Canadiens once before.
To win a series, here he has put the Nordic in front 2-1 on the series. Picked the far side with a slap shot. Here it comes now. Down the boards they come. A hard check thrown on Kumpel as he ran into Rick Green right at center ice. Now Green can't hold it at the blue line. And it pops out, and here's a good hard shot. And he finds the far side on it. Let's see it again. There's Green working along the boards. Checked loose by Goulet. Right to Hunter. And I'll tell you, I think that Penny moved a little late on it and slid it into the far corner. And Les Nordiques have taken a 2-1 lead in this best-of-7 series.
18:36 of overtime, and there's the man that scored it, Dale Hunter of the Nordiques. The final score, Quebec 7, Montreal 6. Quebec leads the Adams Division final 2-1. From Quebec City, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Tonight, both teams scored 13 goals last game. I think it's going to be a close checking game tonight. So we've got to be patient, and we've got to play a good defensive game.
Well, pressure is nothing new to the Montreal Canadiens. They've been under the gun for years now, and this particular season has been one of those years too. Bob, Bob Gainey here, the captain of the Canadiens, and Bob, the game itself, the thoughts of the team going into this one.
Well, we're still confident that we can play better than we've played almost through the entire playoff series, and that we're still in all the games. We've lost both games to Quebec in overtime, and that if we can improve the way our team can play, that it will give us that little bit of an edge that we need to beat Quebec.
The reason, of course, the Canadiens are behind in this series is because they lost that emotion-charged overtime game in this building 2 nights ago. But in overtime, John, it certainly could have gone either way.
Canadians had their chances, especially early. Mark Hunter has an empty net. Mario Marois dashes in behind him and stops it as it's trickling towards the goal line. That's a great play. That saved it for the Nordiques.
Looked like a game winner.
Michel Goulet was just flying all night. Here he beats Chris Chelios one-on-one. Goes in, makes a great shot, just hits the post and it goes wide. Mats Naslund could have won it. He's their sniper. He has to come up big. He's in by himself. Mario Gosselin makes a great save. Saves the game again, and then the Nordiques came back and scored, obviously.
2-1 in favor of the Nordiques. We will have the opening face-off of Game 4 in just a moment. Live from Quebec City, this is Carling O'Keefe Sports, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CTV.
Grand scene, great party, love the onion dip. John, how you doing? Nice looking jacket. Smart move, John. Hey, Sammy, how are you? Long time no see. New suit, eh? Looks good on you. Hey, look, here comes Kevin. Hey, Kevin, show us your label. Oh, wait a minute. Kevin, I think you forgot something. You better get back to Dorian suit. I love these parties. The girls look so beautiful. The guys look so good in their Dorian suits, right, Bert? Bert, come on. Dorian suits, where they have the lowest prices in town and every customer is treated like a celebrity.
Miss Rigby, revise these reports.
Wang knows what being a secretary is really like.
And cancel that conference.
And now Wang's designed the first computer for what secretaries really do.
And type this by 10.
The Wang Office Assistant. It can juggle a lot of jobs at once. Typing, filing, scheduling, even spreadsheets. The Wang Office Assistant. Bounce the idea off your boss.
Or call 1-800-268-7856 for the dealer nearest you.
Welcome back to LIQUIDATION in Quebec City. Up in the broadcast booth with Ron Roosh, I'm Dan Kelly. Both teams are on the ice and we're moments away from the national anthem here in Game 4. Ron Roosh, should we expect a repeat of the shootout and the fighting of Game 3?
I don't think so, Dan. I think that both teams realize that shootouts are not the way to win in Stanley Cup hockey. You have to mind the store, and they weren't doing an awful lot of that 2 nights ago. So I would be surprised if we get more than 7 goals total scored in this game, which is a far cry from the 13 goals total that was scored in game number 3 of this series.
What about the penalty factor? Will both teams be